So today we're just going to talk about a shell that is extremely strong in PvP, and in my opinion kind of warrants a nerf because it is just that powerful. And you might be surprised which boss it actually drops from. It's actually not from any of the harder bosses. It's not from Rengakutsu, which does have some very good shells in Codex, which is probably the one you guys thought I was thinking of. It's not going to be from Shadowflame Hoyan, which has Jackal Guard, a very powerful shell as well. It's not even going to be from Sharon, which has something like a Supernova, which is good on like Fushu and PvP, and even Halloween, which is very powerful, and even Golden Lion, which recently got buffed and is being used on DPS Viper. It's actually going to be from Nico Nana. So the shell that I'm talking about is actually Gigabyte, and Gigabyte is just insanely common in PvP right now, just because of how powerful it actually is. So the biggest reason why it's so strong is because every time an enemy takes 3 turns, you basically get 35% turn meter. And because this scales with your own speed, let's say you have it on a character that's like 240 speed, you're basically getting almost 100 speed when this procs. And the best thing about it is that it has no cooldown, right? Basically, it could proc, once per turn, so it's a 1-turn cooldown, but this will reset very quickly because you're cycling to your next turn, and it just makes it so that, if you put this on anything that likes to cycle fast, it makes them super quick, like insanely quick for no reason. So this is why the meta has kind of evolved in PvP to like how people are saying, 20-minute battles and stuff like that. And it's mostly going to be because, even though healing is very strong, I want to say the reason why healing feels really strong is because of this shell. You're going to see characters like Sonya very commonly on this. I think Sonya is pretty much unplayable without this shell. Same with Ling Luo. You're going to pretty much run this on almost every Ling Luo build, right? Even something like a red Chiaki, right? She's also very good on it because she can cut as well and heal your team and apply those buffs. And there's even more support units that like to run it now that, are actually being used on it. For example, Lily. So mine's on Lighthouse, but I actually have to switch it to Gigabyte because pretty much the same thing. You're cycling very quick and you're just getting way more turns off and pulling your DPS, which makes you, kind of overwhelm the enemy. So, this shell is just extremely broken. It's used on a ton of characters. And, I think it's a big reason why, the meta, I said meta almost, the meta is kind of evolving to this like slow tanked out style. I think healing definitely is in a spot where it feels overtuned, but a big contributor is definitely the Gigabyte healing, right? So if you think about last season, most people were actually cleaving with Rev. So you can see I have 6 lighthouses built up because everyone was running lighthouse to counter cleave, right? Because it was pretty much unstoppable. And now people are actually switching to Gigabyte because, one, cleave got nerfed, right? Rev got nerfed a bit, even though it's very strong still. And for that reason, you get less punished for running a more, standard playstyle shell like Gigabyte. So, this is just a really powerful shell. I think something needs to be done with it. And until then, if you have a lot of Gigabytes left over, it's a really good shell to invest into. You can see I have 3 of them, right, on this Bloodbath setup. I want like 2 more. And I think the best one you can go for on healers is going to be Strive, Bloodbath, Evil Guard. This will make it so that you just get insane pushing when you get hit, and even if you don't get hit, you're just cycling very quickly. And Bloodbath will keep you alive, and of course Evil Guard will give you more F-res to resist those CCers, and also give you more healing. Now I think the most annoying thing about Gigabyte that I think probably will get changed in my opinion because it just makes it really frustrating, but maybe not because it is the reason why control can be kind of dealt with, is going to be the fact that the way that these actions accumulate, it gets stored even while you're CC'd. So if you're CC'd and the enemy takes 3 turns, it still starts timing down, and as soon as you wake up from your CC, when the enemy takes their turn, this Gigabyte will actually proc and make it so that you can cut. This makes CC super hard to play right now if you just get unlucky with turn meter timings and stuff like that, or like a Strive push. You just kind of get owned, right? If a Ling Luo's on the shell, on the setup, it's the biggest reason why I think CCers like to ban Ling Luo. It's because she can randomly cut and just instantly put up immunity and cleanse your team. So this shell is definitely a good shell to invest into. It's just extremely strong in PvP. Whether I think it'll get nerfed, honestly, I think it will because it's just so oppressive. But I don't think it's a bad shell by any means, even if it does, because yeah, he just, it's just a broken shell. It's been used since day one, but nowadays, since people are playing more into the standard playstyle, and, you know, just needing more healing, it's just really good. And like I said, you know, you could put this on a lot of characters. You could put it on Lily on a Bloodbath setup, you can put it on Ling Luo, you could put it on Sanya, you can put it on something like a Chiaki as well. They're all extremely good on it. I think it is their best in slot. Lily only for if you're planning to play her on the slower bruiser build. And you can even put it on other characters, right? I've seen characters like Kazuya the Reverie on it, on like a bruiser setup as well, instead of Jackal Guard, right? I've seen characters such as Celine on it, which is kind of cope because no one plays her, but I play her, so I'm gonna say that. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Anytime like a healer gets released, Gigabyte in the state that it's in, it's going to just be the best shell in the game for them, just because it allows you to cycle very quickly. And the reason why it's so good, I'm kind of just going on about it, is because a lot of healers right now, you're not really building too much speed, mostly because you're putting them on this like setup here, where it's Bloodbath, Strive, and Evil Guard, but you're also investing a lot into effect resistance, and also that makes it so that you can't really get this speed passive on the second shell. And then Gigabyte kind of just counteracts that, so yeah. Definitely a shell you guys want to start building. You know, just wanted to let you guys know out there that are starting to get into PvP, kind of like a PSA, that, you know, if you have those Gigabytes, if you're stuck in Nico Nana still as an early game player, it's fine. I've been farming Nico Nana so much the past few days to get these Gigabytes, and trust me, it makes a huge deal on your account, especially for your healers. So I'll actually show you a battle where you can see it take into effect. So I'm on the other side here, so I'm on the red side, but you can see, you know, with Gigabyte, look how quickly my team is pushing up. Even though Mio pushes me back, I'm able to cycle very quickly with my healers. And that's very important, because if I didn't get that push there, what ends up happening is I would have gotten lapped by Lily and pretty much lost the battle, because I would have gotten re-CC'd, right? But this allows me to cycle quickly, and, you know, it allows me to catch up on my turn meter, even though I get affected by turn meter pushback. And you're going to see for the rest of the battle that it's going to kind of just be super oppressive, because I'm just going to be cycling very quick. Now I know you guys know what Gigabyte does, and you probably don't really need to see this, but I just kind of want to show you how, you know, the cycling just can overtake battles, right? You have to keep in mind, my Ling Luo was at like, what, 215 speed, and this is her second turn already, right? Before their Messiah, which is getting speed buff and pushed by Lily, can even take his second turn. You can see here, at this point, because I was able to survive the initial burst and kind of just catch up, it's very hard for him to do anything. And you could see that, you know, on the turn meter again, with the Strive Gigabyte setup, my Ling Luo is taking another turn, right? And you can see the game just ends like that, which kind of shows you that, you know, this shell is very oppressive and very strong. I'll show you guys actually another battle. So this is basically me playing into CC on the other side as well. And even though it just looks like it's pretty doomed from the start, because I get stripped, right? Everything gets CC'd on my side, as we'll see. I guess my my Doki Doki is okay, but you're gonna see that with the Gigabyte, I'm able to just push very quickly, and my Ling Luo gets pushed all the way now to the front, and I'm able to cleanse off the CC. So you can see with the F-Res build, especially on Gigabyte, you can run like full F-Res, and you can see that the game just insta-ends, because, you know, you just don't need the speed really, especially from the second passive, because of how it actually pushes. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to show you guys, you know, the power of Gigabyte. I know it was a very short showcase, but there's not really like montages of like a shell just giving you turn meter, honestly. So definitely a shell you want to start stacking on your healers. Lighthouse meta, it's not that great. I think having one healer or support on Lighthouse is fine, but for the most part, you do want Gigabyte, right? Yeah, I have one. I'm probably going to switch one healer to Lighthouse so I stop getting absolutely demolished by Cleave. But Gigabyte is just a very good all-around shell that really excels in the standard mirrors and also against CC. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.